Back in another place, in another time, before Scandoval. That's right, before Scandoval. Back when she was BFFs with Tom and Ariana. First, she fell out with Ariana. Now she fell out with Tom. But back when she was friends with Tom and Ariana, when Tom and Ariana were together, before Scandoval, back when Jax wasn't on Bravo, before the Valley was greenlit, back before Stassi was back. I mean, she's not back on Bravo, but she's back in the Vanderverse. Before all of that, we sat down with the one and only Billie Lee. I find this chat so interesting. I always find it interesting when we look back at a chat and just see how many things were foreshadowed, how many things are different. This wasn't that long ago. It was right before Scandoval broke, literally right before. So we share these never before seen videos of our chat with Billie Lee. And was there foreshadowing of what's to come? I mean, not even just Scandoval, but her fallout with Tom. I find these chats so interesting, and we share a series of them here today.
I had my cats and dog like tied up in my car. The windows were open, but like I had a job when I first moved here. I got a job the day that I got here, but I didn't have something happened. My friend fell through and I didn't have a place. And so I just lived out of my car until I got enough money from my jobs. And then my mom sent me $1,000 and I got a little hole in the wall studio in Hollywood.
And you had you were you had that dark of thoughts that you were suicidal.
Yeah. I think there's, I don't know. I think for an escape, especially when I was younger, I would daydream about ending my life. And so sometimes in like really dark times, not that I'm even saying that I would do it. I'm really big on like daydreaming. And when you're in a really dark place, sometimes all you can do all day long is just like lay in bed and dream about or daydream about how you would do it and like the relief that you would have. And I even had those moments when I was on Vanderpump, like, because I felt like I was dropped back in high school, the bullying and like that kind of feeling, and then a lot of shame around that. So yeah, that sometimes when you get in dark places, it happens,
Yeah, because it would be, you just think of, well, this would be the relief.
Yeah.
There you go.
And I'm really like usually a happy person. When you have really dark times, and I probably can count on one hand those dark times where I had those thoughts.
Well, with all your serving experience that you mentioned, like, how did you get the job at SUR? Because like you said, you were sending in headshots. Like, was it, like, were you there prior to the show, or were you like hired for the show? I never really knew this, or did you actually truly work there and the show was going on, and then one day they turned to you and said, why don't you join the show?
I mean, there's like two stories. There's like one you're supposed to tell the public and one you're not supposed to. But yeah, I was casted. And I had meetings with the production company, Evolution, first. And then I met Lisa. And yeah, it was through that way.
When you were cast, like, why? I mean, was it, and this is was it just like why were you cast? Like, basically, like, was it stunt casting? Like, because this was before, it's different, was it like, let's diversify this cast? Like, do you think that was part of it?
Well, I owned a restaurant before SUR. It was a cafe, and I had it for 2 years before the owner of the building bought me out. And I had a lot of producers that came through there, and they're like, why don't you have your own show? And I remember I was set up with a meeting with Doug Ross, who is the owner of Evolution, who I love and adore, and just through amazing people that are also activists, and they were really big activists back in the day, and they just see my work and what I'm doing and believe in me. And they said, I said, I don't think I can carry a show by myself. I also just didn't find myself that interesting. But they said, well, why don't we put you on an existing show? And I obviously wasn't married or rich, so I didn't go on the Housewives.
No Beverly Hills Housewives for you.
So they're like, we'll put you as a host. I'm like, a host? I've been serving my whole life. Why am I a fucking host? But it was fun. Like the hosting part was fun to like walk around the whole restaurant. I wasn't tied to a table, you know? I thought that was kind of cool.
Did you, because you say, we'll get into it, but like, did you know what you were getting into? Like, were you aware of Vanderpump Rules? Like, I mean.
No, I didn't watch it. And I didn't, I wanted to like get to know these people for who they were. I didn't want any type of, like my manager was like, you need to watch every episode and know what you're getting into. And I'm like, no, I ain't watching shit. I mean, thinking about it, I'm like, God, I should have, because I feel like I would have probably said no. But yeah, I just went in kind of blind. And I honestly still think that's the best way. I think that's the most real way. Like, especially when you're starting any type of friendships, you know?
Yeah, totally. Because I know people like from other reality shows, like Housewives, you know, they say that's the best advice. Like you watch, even when you do watch it, you have these preconceived notions. And then it's like, when you get there, you kind of just want to take people face value of like, I thought you weren't this way on TV, but you're great. You know what I mean? Or something. It was probably better you didn't. And like you said, maybe you would have said no if you did.
I definitely would have said no.
You would have?
If I would have watched it or known. I didn't even like watching it when I had to like do interviews. I'm just not a reality television person. Yeah.
So like you get there, you start filming, like, you know, starting with the positives. Like, was there anything where you can say this was the high of the experience? Like, I had a great experience because of A or whatever. Like, was there any positive in it for you?
Yeah. I mean, okay, first of all, I'll always say this. I have family from that experience. Like legit family. Like Tom and Ariana. I spend the holidays with them. They're my family. Yeah, there's amazing people that I am really, really close with from that experience. And I learned a lot. It's helped me with like telling my story. There's a lot of positive things that has come from that experience. However, it was like one disappointment after another. And I think having a trans story, they could have done so much better. But the producers and everyone involved, and it's a lot of politics, and the people at Bravo, like, they didn't do it. Like, I just did not feel it. And I was disappointed. And I also came in as an activist, and I really wanted to show the trans experience in a certain way. And I think at first I was like, oh, cool, they're doing this, they're doing that. But then when I watched it back, I was like, oh no. Like, and I would even call my publicist and be like, oh my God, can we like do an interview or like talk to someone and like balance this out? Because I feel awful. Like, I don't know. I just think that we need to be talking about like trans rights and the unemployment rate and all these things. And my team is like, calm down. This is reality television. This is entertainment. Like, and I just, you know, like I said, like, anyway, I think like Tom and all of them are really good at reality television. Like, they're just so good at it. I'm not. And I think I was very much like tokenized. Like, they still haven't had a trans person on the network since me. And you just feel a vibe from certain like producers. Like, even like I fought to have a double date. I was like, I think it's really important for America to see a trans woman with a cis hetero man on a double date with a cis hetero couple, which was Tom and Ariana. And I fought for that. And then they finally did it, and they did it at a steakhouse, and I'm vegan. And it's just like, and then I find out the producer that like set that up, like, was the producer that from the get-go, what I didn't feel good vibes with. So there's just a lot of